I have fully completed every Amnesia game from the series, all the way from the Dark Descent to the Bunker. I'm going to rank all of these games of how fun it was to 100%, so I'm not going to rank these games from what game I liked the most, just how fun it was to complete. And I'm going to rank these from worst to best. Also be sure to consider subscribing since it supports my content a lot. Also, I really don't want to tell you many spoilers since I want this to be as spoiler free as it can be, so don't expect me to tell you everything about the story. This is considered many to be the worst Amnesia game, and I can see why. This is very boring and not scary at all. I think the main enemy, the pig, wasn't scary at all. But I did like the story and atmosphere, but it was way too dark. Like, I understand that this is an Amnesia game, but holy fuck is it dark. It's not even that fun when it's that dark. It doesn't make it any scarier, it just makes it annoying, because I feel like I have to fight the darkness rather than the main antagonist. Like, this is not Alan Wake, this is Amnesia. But what about the 100%? Was it fun? No. It was the easiest of the series. You get all of the achievements while playing the main story, almost all since you gotta also pick all of the notes, and the game isn't that long, so it takes maximum like 2 playthroughs, and you can even do all of the achievements if you use guide so easily. But it's a good thing that this is the only Amnesia game with this amount of achievements. It had 7 achievements and 5 of them were main story. And 1 was the note and the other was for collecting all of the achievements. Not insanity indeed, but I still think that the game is underrated, since this has one of the darkest stories in gaming. If you really dig deep enough, I would recommend watching this video. It's a great video and explains all the lore if you didn't catch on it by playing the game. I would give the game 6.5 out of 10 and the 100% a 5 out of 10. This is also a fairly controversial game. Some say that this is boring as hell, and some even say that this is one of the best Amnesia games. When I played this, I was told that this was a mid game, so I had a low expectations. But I don't know if it because I truly had too low expectations or something, because I truly think that this game was not nearly as bad as people tend to say. Some people don't like the main protagonist in the game, and I don't really understand why. I think the protagonist was at least fine. I think she was doing what anyone would do in her situation, and the voice acting was phenomenal in this title. But I do understand where people are coming from. Yes, this game wasn't scary at all, and some puzzles were pretty easy. The monsters weren't really a threat to me. You could run from them pretty easily, and hiding from them wasn't hard. The designs weren't like bad, but they just weren't scary for me. Something like the serpent grunt from the Dark Descent scares me still, but the monsters in Rebirth really didn't give me that fear that I was hoping for. Also, this was the longest Amnesia game yet, so the speedrun achievement was pretty difficult. But I did get it on my second try, since the game is long, yes, but when you know where everything and do some tricks, you can easily get through this bad boy in like 2 hours, which was the time limit for the achievement. The speedrun achievement was the hardest and the most memorable. The achievements were mostly story and collectible achievements. Also, this game had a lot of notes, like holy shit, it felt like in one room there was 40 notes. But this game's lore is so deep that it probably is the reason why there was that many notes. But could you at least cut some off? Like, it doesn't cost anything to remove, and I don't mind reading notes in games, but in this title it was something different. Anyway, this game is fine, but not a masterpiece like Dark Descent or Bunker, so I would give the game 7 out of 10 and the 100% 7.5 out of 10, since it actually was pretty difficult and it had some good achievements, and it was obviously better than the Machine for Pigs. Now this is a classic, the game that started it all. This is probably my favorite Amnesia game, and it's still one of the scariest games I've played, because the horror games nowadays aren't really good. So I'm glad that this pretty old game carried the horror for me. Some other games like Outlast are also fairly scary, but it doesn't have the same vibe as the Dark Descent. The Dark Descent has this feeling that you can't fight back. Sure, it's also with the Outlast titles, but Outlast in my opinion is overdoing it with the jump scare, and the monsters aren't really that scary. I think everyone should experience Dark Descent blind, so I won't be spoiling that much, but you play as Daniel and you try to do some stuff that's all I'm gonna say. You have amnesia, you don't remember anything. That's pretty, simple plot to the game. The game also has a fun 100%. It's fairly difficult. The hardest was to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, but frankly, it wasn't that hard since the game is pretty short, and when you know what to do, then it's pretty cakewalk. And it had some fun achievements that were fun to grind. Obviously better than Rebirth and the Machine for Pigs. I don't really have anything more to say, because what can you really say anymore? It's fun time and everyone should play it if you love horror like I do. But now for the final and the best Amnesia game in my opinion, and the best 100%. This is my favorite Amnesia game for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I love survival horror genre. It's my favorite genre. In my opinion, it's fucking amazing. And this game combines the iconic horror from Amnesia series and adds a survival element. Fictional games knows how to make scary games, even with something you can protect yourself with against the beast. The main evil guy in this title is terrifying but really well made. I want to buy the plushie they made for it, like they did with the Servant Grunt. So you have two weapons, a revolver and a shotgun, and you just have to survive and get out of the bunker. It's set in World War I, and the story I'm not very sure yet. I have to admit I didn't really catch on the story yet. I will probably watch some lore videos. I like it also because it's the shortest fictional games has made, at least on my part, because if you know what you're doing you can get through this game fast and easy. That's why the speedrun achievement wasn't difficult at all. This title had some fun achievements, pretty basic achievements. We have seen the same ones in the previous titles, but there are some difficult ones as well, like completing the game on shell shock difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty. It has a lot of replayability and it's fun because the New Game Plus changes the monsters AI a little bit and you can customize your experience as well. I would say that it's not as memorable as Rebirth because the bunker had simple but fun achievements. Rebirth's achievements were just pretty difficult. The sound design of Bunker is amazing. The whole atmosphere and setting and the replayability and everything, easy 9 out of 10 and a 8 out of 10 for the 100%. Well, that was it. I hope you liked it, and if you stayed for this long, might as well watch some of my other videos and maybe please like or something. Anyway, see ya.